Shalom, all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rakha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who do rule well. Peace and mercy to the hopeful elect, the 144,000, those men that are doing this work in sincerity and in truth across the four corners of the earth. And much love to the one-third and the innumerable multitude of you believers out there. To you all, I say shalom and greetings. And I pray, Lord willing, that this lesson is edifying through the Spirit. All right, so I have an article here from Forbes magazine. All right. And it is titled Strap In. Fed suddenly braced for a U.S. dollar crisis that's predicted to spark total collapse and a critical Bitcoin price tipping point. All right. So, when I saw that, I'm immediately like, yeah, this is worth doing a lesson on. I wish they would have had more extremes in this, but the thing is, prophecy points to this. So even if they didn't word things in the article how I expected, this is what's predicted to happen. The scriptures confirm this for us. So I'm gonna read some of this, and I'm gonna get a few scriptures out. And this is dated today, September 2nd, 2024. It says Bitcoin and crypto prices have surged this year as the U.S. dollar index falls to year-to-date lows. Okay, and they're doing it, and I'm going to read some. They're doing a comparison based on it was an all-time low, I think, in 2020, that the index was at a certain point, and now this year it dropped even below that, right? So, but it says the Bitcoin price is trading around $60,000 per Bitcoin, up from January lows of under $40,000 as a trader's bet. A fresh injection of liquidity by the Federal Reserve will put the Bitcoin and crypto market on the cusp of a major move, right? So you got Donald Trump who's saying, there's never going to be any CBDCs, and they're trying to make it sound like, oh, they're just trying to up the crypto game. Well, really, all this is a move towards digital, which is ultimately they're trying to bring in the CHIP, right? The MOTB mentioned in Revelation 13 and 16. That's their ultimate goal there. So they'll make it seem like a digital transaction, but then digitally, even let's say they do make a digital transaction and realize it's not working the way they want, they're going to say, hey, we can put this CHIP inside of everybody and it can work in our favor. All right. That's their new world agenda, man. Okay. It says now as China, and matter of fact, I have a scripture that just came to mind. Okay, because that's their new world agenda, but they're going to try their best to make it work. But Yahweh Shem Shai is going to destroy their plan, right? This is Job 5 and verse 12. It says he disappointed the devices of the crafty so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise, right? So ultimately, them performing their enterprise is trying to bring that CHIP, right? They're making a goal to try to implant the hopeful elect of Yahweh Shem Shai, that they can get the whole world under their subjection. But it's not going to happen. So he says, so that their hands cannot perform. He's going to disappoint them. So, and when you're disappointed, man, we're going to be happy that they're disappointed. But when you're disappointed in someone, man, it's a heavy and a harsh feeling, man. Shit's worse than being mad. You know what I'm saying? But so for them, when they're going to be disappointed, right? They're going to be like, shit. We put in all these work. We did all of this for years. We set up everything properly. And we just can't get the elect. We cannot get these guys. And so it's because Yahweh Shem Shai says, none shall fall from among thy number. But his men are going to get spiritual powers. And, even if Esau tried to take somebody down and put him in a chair, that damn needle is going to break, man. But Lord willing, we're never even in that situation, for them to even get close to trying to put that in brothers, man. That we always in a position to evade that situation. He said he shall keep us from the hour of temptation. Okay. This is now as China it says back to the article. Now as China gears up to drop a Bitcoin price bombshell, fears are swirling the US dollar is on the verge of a total collapse. You see that? The US dollar is on the verge of a total collapse. And then it says setting up the Bitcoin price for a critical tipping point. So they might be thinking that once the dollar collapses, Bitcoin will take over. Cryptocurrency will take over, which, mind you, that's not a very, like, look, your brother's got some Bitcoin and crypto and things like that, sure. But this doesn't automatically entail that it's just going to be a cryptocurrency takeover. Now, the people that are maybe involved in crypto might know a little bit more, if this does happen. But ultimately, that's a huge learning curve for a whole nation to try to learn in a short amount of time. But the CHIP will be easy. Like, as far as what you need to know, and Esau, when he want to implement a new society, he's going to be thinking, hey, let's make this as simple as possible. And with Bitcoin and crypto, it is a learning curve. You do have to learn what it's about, what to buy, what to spend, how it works. It's a lot of different little elements like that. But when it comes to CHIP, hey, you inject this, let us print all. They're going to say, let us do a grappo. Give us. They're going to look. This is what they'll do too. While they got that long ass line, they'll tell you to fill out all your information. You know what I'm saying? So we always think about, let me go into it real quick. Even though I brought this out recently, but while I'm explaining that, this just hit me through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai. This just hit me because we always talk about the information that's engrafted on that, right? But how are they going to get that information? Okay. So we're going to go to Revelation 13 and 16, but I'm going to jump down to the word M-A-R-K, right, which is charagma. Okay. And then I'm going to click on the root word etymology, which is charax. And I'm going to click on the next one, which is grappo, right? And it says here, as a matter of fact, let me click the
Strong's G 1125. Grapho.
Right, grapho. And it says to write with reference to the form of the letters, to delineate or form letters on a tablet, parchment, paper, or other material, to write with reference to the contents of the writing. It says to give information, directions, to fill with writing, to draw up in writing, to compose, to grave, to describe. So when you get a CHIP, how are they going to commit to the writing on it? How are they going to give information on it? What directions? To fill with writing. How do you fill something with writing? So if this thing is not something that you implant inside you, why does it need to be filled with writing? All right, composed with writing. All right. So what most likely they're going to have is you're either going to be in that line or they're going to have a computer set up. A computer might be easier, but they'll have a line. Either you'll have to type all of your information into the computer, or you fill it out on a piece of paper, or shit. Esau already got all your information. If you really want to know, if you get them your fucking name and state or social, they can probably pull you the hell up. But nonetheless, let's just give a realistic way of doing this. So you don't get confused with anybody else. They'll have you give you a paper or computer and say, hey, here's your, write down your name, write down your address, write down your social, write down any disabilities you may have, write down any medications that you take, all of that, write down how the dollar amount and the finances that was last recorded in your bank. You know what I'm saying? They'll have you write all that kind of stuff down. And so then while you're waiting in line, this line just ticking away like a damn DMV. You're writing all this or putting it in a computer. So then when you get up there, they got your CHIP. They enter all of that. That's probably why this computer will be smarter, because then they can just do print it. It's on your CHIP. You walk up in the line. They have your name written on it and your social or something. They implant that thing. You done. You see, and that's your grapho written all. Getting CHIP, put inside your body, man. Okay, so this is a much simpler process to finances, right? Put it in their hand, now they can just go and buy and sell, right? Which is why the CHIP makes so much more sense than all this other stuff people think it is, right? But they have a picture here. I'm probably going to use this picture, this face of this individual. His name is Jerome Powell, but this picture says the U.S. dollar has recently hit a new 2024 low, while the Bitcoin price has surged so far this year as the Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell cues up an interest rate cut. It says, The US dollar index just hit a new 2024 low, and it's actually still relatively high, but it looks like it's on the verge of a total collapse. Economist and gold bull Peter Schiff posted on X. It says the index should easily sink below 90 before year end, challenging the 2020 low. Schiff, the founder of a money management manager, Euro Pacific Asset Management, and the Bitcoin and crypto skeptic, later added, I think that the low will be breached in 2025, triggering a US dollar crisis, crashing the economy, and sending consumer prices and long-term interest rates soaring. That's the part I was looking for. Call all y'all by Shemal Shah. See, them the words I was looking for. I could have maybe just breezed over that part. But that's right. It says that it will be at 20 brothers. Today is September 2nd, right? You got October, November, December. There are roughly 3 months left in 2024, man. Okay? There are roughly 3 months left. So he's saying it'll be breached in 2025, triggering a US dollar crisis, crashing the economy, and sending consumer prices. Your consumer prices are all of your goods, your water, your food, the things you need. Those are your consumer prices. He says, and long-term interest rates soaring. So the higher your interest rates, the more things cost even over time. Okay, so now let me get this scripture. All right. Hey, this thing is getting real, and we're seeing all the prophecy come together through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemal Shai. Okay, this is Habakkuk 2, and I'm gonna start at 4. The point is in 6. Excuse me, I'm gonna start at 5, but the point is in 6. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. And this is the Edomite, the so-called white man, the Amalekite, the so-called JEW. They are the proud men. They don't want to keep at home. They enlarge their desire as hell. They want everything, to the point where they want souls of men. Okay? They don't want just being satisfied with the fact that you owe them money. They want to own you. They want to own your soul. But through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemal Shai, the elect, Lord willing, we be those men, is going to keep us from his satisfaction. Okay? It says, shall not all these take up a proverb against, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay, right? So Esau is doing all of these things, but ultimately that he's having that increasing amount of debt, all right? And that's becoming a burden upon this country, all right? Let me read this in the NLT. It says, but soon their captives will taunt them. They will mock them, saying, what sorrow awaits you, thieves? Now you will get what you deserve. Whew, call all your Bashar Mashah. You've become rich by extortion, but how much longer can this go on? Right? So they've becoming rich by extortion, and this increasing amount of debt is surpassing what they're able to handle. That's why I said now you're going to get what you deserve. All right? They've increased in that which is not his. They stolen and stolen and stolen. And now they've made their money system not backed by the gold standard. So now their dollar, their greenback, is suffering. All right? There have been arrangements with oil that they haven't had before. Certain agreements not set up again. The petrodollar is about to be non-existent. You know? It says last month, Fed Chair Jerome Powell's speech during the annual economic symposium of central bankers at Jackson Hole, Wyoming, struck a dovish tone and queued up a September interest rate cut, driving down the U.S. dollar. Excuse me. It says, it's been a tough summer for the greenback. Neil Rorty, analyst at investment platform Stocklytics, said in emailed comments as recently as April, dollar dominance looked unstoppable as its price soared versus almost all global currencies. Now it's at a 2024 lows against the euro, the pound, and the yen. So this is looking bad for the dollar, man. It's looking bad. So, and ultimately, The goal is to make this change. Y'all gotta understand that's their ultimate goal, is to make this transition to ultimately get to the CHIP, right? It says as many there's now speculation interest rates might come faster than initially predicted. Rorty said as many as 100 basis points could be knocked off current rates by the end of the year. This will cool dollar expectations for the rest of 2024, but it's worth keeping a close eye on how central bankers react. That all important rate gap, the difference in interest rates between countries, could be the driver of some significant currency volatility over the coming months. Strap in for what could be a bumpy ride. Hey man, you're right, and this bumpy ride gonna ultimately turn into the CHIP and the what's that thing called, the for Jacob's trouble. That's gonna be the bumpy ride, and these people don't know how to prepare for this, man. All right, this thing is at an all-time low, and Yahweh Shemel Shai's will gonna be done. Let me, I really only got like one more precept that I really want to get, which is Revelation 3rd chapter. We're all familiar with, but we know these times are coming. This is Revelation 3:10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Right? So the Lord said he's going to bring this time of testing, which is going to be CHIP. It's going to test all these people and their integrity, their minds and their hearts towards the Most High. And that test, the thing is, when you're in school and you take a big test, right? The big test is supposed to get you to the next graduation, right? Like if you're in college, high school, and you got to take the FCATs to make sure you're good enough to move forward, or you got to take, there's a Florida test, or if you got to take the SATs or the ACT tests in order to prove that you're good enough to go to college or something like that. So a big test is supposed to be a proving point for you. Either you're going to pass it or you're going to fail it, And so this test, Lord willing, we be those men and we pass this test with flying colors. But it's going to be many that don't make it, right? In the NLT, it says, because you have obeyed my command to persevere, I will protect you from the great time of testing that will come upon the whole world to test those who belong to this world. So those ultimately that really don't believe in Yahweh Shem Shai, is going to show that they belong to the world and that they don't belong to Yahweh Shem Shai, because all those that are his, he said they can't be plucked out of his hand. They belong to him. So those believers are not going to, those Israelite believers are not going to take this. But you're going to see heathen, and you got to understand this, y'all. All of the heathen around the world about to be taking this, save a few that try to go off in the wilderness, and I'm gonna even say majority of Israelites. Well, let's say a lot. A lot of Israelites are gonna take this, man. They're gonna succumb to this. Save the elect. Whoever part of the elect are not gonna take this, but every other Israelite, hey, they taking it, man. You see what I'm saying? So this dollar is at an all-time low, and hey, end of 2024, 2025 is gonna start to get brutal, and we're gonna see a lot of things happen, man. Especially once this so-called election, this false election, this false illusion of inclusion takes place. We're going to see, man. But I pray, Lord willing, that this lesson was edifying. I want to give all the praise, the honor, and the glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Hakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who do rule well. And peace and mercy to the elect. Until next time, Shalom.